cobblestones slick with rain. A girl ran, breath catching in her throat, red hair, a tangled flame against the grey sky. Behind her, shouts rose, angry and guttural. They echoed through the narrow lanes of the village, bouncing off stone walls.
She didn't dare look back. Her bare feet slapped against the wet stones, each one a hammer blow against her skin. But fear lent her speed. She had to reach the loch, her sanctuary.
Villagers lined the cobbled path, their faces grim. Eyes followed her, hard and unforgiving.
A woman spat, her words lost to the wind.
The girl flinched, but didn't slow. Ahead, the path opened onto the loch. Grey water stretched before her, mirroring the stormy sky. A thin layer of ice clung to the edges, fragile and shimmering. Hope, sharp and cold, pierced through her terror. The icy air bit at her lungs. Each breath, a painful reminder of her exhaustion. But she couldn't stop. They were closing in, their shadows stretched long and menacing in the fading light. The ice beckoned, a promise of escape.
It wouldn't hold. She knew it, but what choice did she have?
She hesitated for a moment, her heart pounding against her ribs. Taking a deep breath, she stepped onto the frozen surface. A groan resonated beneath her feet. The ice creaked, a warning whisper carried on the wind.
She ignored it. Each step was a gamble. She moved quickly, her eyes fixed on the opposite shore. So close, yet still so far.
The ice sagged beneath her weight, a spiderweb of cracks spreading outwards. The world tilted. For a moment she hung suspended. Then the ice gave way. She plunged into the icy depths, a scream trapped in her throat. The shock stole her breath. Darkness closed in, suffocating an absolute.
She thrashed wildly, her limbs heavy and uncoordinated. The water was a vice, squeezing the air from her lungs. Panic welled up, a primal scream echoing in her skull.
Then she saw him, a young man, his features serene in death. He floated towards her, his eyes open and staring. His skin was pale, almost translucent. His dark hair fanned out around him like seaweed. Her terror was momentarily forgotten as she gazed at the lifeless yet gentle young man beneath the ice. Terror yielded to a strange, unsettling calm.
She stopped struggling, her body going limp.
He reached out, his touch gentle despite the icy water.
His fingers brushed against her cheek, sending a shiver down her spine.
He began to move, gliding through the water with an eerie grace. He pulled her along, their bodies swaying in unison. It wasn't a struggle, but a dance, a macabre waltz in the cold, silent depths. His eyes, though vacant, seemed to hold a strange warmth, a flicker of something ancient and unknowable. He led her through the water, a phantom partner in her watery grave. On the surface, the villagers watched in stunned silence. The ice, now stained crimson, offered a chilling tableau.
Her mother, her face a mask of anguish, crumpled to her knees. Her cries were swallowed by the wind, lost in the vast emptiness of the loch.
The villagers muttered amongst themselves, their faces etched with a mixture of fear and morbid fascination. None dared venture onto the treacherous ice. None dared to retrieve the girl with hair like fire. As darkness descended, the loch returned to its usual stillness. The wind whispered through the reeds, carrying with it the girl's name. A mournful lament that echoed across the water, a chilling reminder of the tragedy that lay beneath the ice. Years passed, the village rebuilt, the memory of the red-haired girl fading into legend. Yet some say, on stormy nights, when the wind howls across the loch, they can hear her laughter echoing on the wind. They say if you listen closely, you can hear the faint strains of music coming from the water, a haunting melody, both beautiful and terrible. A reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed, hidden beneath the icy depths of the loch.